Hello Taurus, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of March 12th through 18th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Devil to start us out. This is going to be an interesting reading, I think. Now, as we do our Dove and Serpent spread, I do just want to say that if there is anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. And we're going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we're not going to look at this until the very end of the reading. So this is going to be, hopefully, the card that, ties everything together, gives us the confirmation that we need at the end. Okay, so please stick around until the end of the video. And now, let's take a look at these cards. We've got some major arcana right off the bat. That's really good stuff here. We've got some fire, we've got some earth, we've got some air, and some water. Really balanced on the path of the dove. Path of the serpent. We have some water, we have some fire, we have some air, and some earth. It's tremendously balanced all across the board today. So that, I think, is a really, really important sign that everything is really in alignment for you this week. I think whatever your plans are, whatever your whatever goals that you're trying to reach, I think you're really going to be making some progress this week, okay? And that might be putting it mildly. So let's look at this Devil card that we started out with. Okay, this is some really tremendous ambition on your part. I think that you have been working on something for quite a while. You've been really building towards something, okay? And I think that you are the type of person that sometimes has some unrealistic goals, right? I think you set the bar very, very high for yourself, maybe for others as well, but I don't see a lot of other court cards in the reading today, so I feel like this is mostly about your energy, your success, your ambition, and what you're building toward, okay? Now, there may be other people involved. Yes, I'm sure there are, but the focus is not on them. The focus is on you and your current energies and how you're going to be utilizing them to manifest your goals this week, okay? So you are someone that sets the bar very high. I think that you have probably, a lot of times set the bar so high that you felt disappointed when you didn't quite achieve that level of success that you set for yourself, right? Some people in that case would lower the bar, They would lower their expectations, they would lower their ambitions and what they were trying to accomplish so that those goals are easier to attain. So it's easier to reach and even surpass your goals, I don't think that you've done that. I think you keep your goals very high. You expect a lot from yourself, okay? You are Taurus. You have this wonderful Capricorn energy with you this week, okay? And this is the ambition, this is the will that will keep pushing forward despite the obstacles, okay? And I think that this is your kind of general attitude this week, that even if nobody seems to be agreeing with you, nobody is by your side, you still got this. You're not changing your expectations, you're not lowering the bar for anyone, let alone for yourself, okay? So I feel like there is some kind of strange circumstances surrounding the work that you're doing right now. Again, I don't know really if this is career, if this is something in your personal life, but I feel like you're involved in something very important, okay? I think there's something weird about it because we have all of this balance. We've got all of the, we literally have the perfect balance of cards, as far as elements go. Fire, air, water, earth. Fire, air, water, earth. And then we have a major arcana. Pretty much we have two of those to balance both sides of the spread here. It's insanely balanced. I've never had a reading that was this balanced. And not only that, but the cards that we do have are all very positive cards, except perhaps for one, but we'll get to that. So there is something really uncanny about what you're doing right now. This week feels like it has some kind of a magical quality where it seems almost too perfect. It seems like things are almost in too much balance or too harmonious that you're like, wait a minute, something's got to be up here. I don't think it is. I think this really is a perfect moment for you. You see, I think it is in such balance that it's almost beyond belief. I say almost because I think you do believe it, because you trust in it, because you know yourself, you know what you're capable of, right? So there is definitely some kind of strangeness about this work that you're doing. Either the way you got into it, either some of the things that happened along the way, or just this week in general is going to have some kind of weird coincidences, right? Synchronicities. I wouldn't be surprised if you had something involving your lower legs or your knees, your joints, right? I don't know if this is some work that has a physical component to it, or maybe it's just an indication that recently you've been kind of having some leg or some knee pain, okay? With this devil energy, I get this feeling that all of this work that you're doing, all of this heavy lifting, this metaphoric heavy lifting that you've been doing, maybe literal, all of this intense work and activity, I think it has a physical manifestation. So it could be that there's something with getting the right leg or the right knee is maybe acting up. Maybe you've got an old injury on the right side there or something like that. And even if your work is not intensely physical right now, it's almost as if it is all of the work that you're doing, all of the metaphoric heavy lifting that you're doing, is manifesting as this physical innervation, as the kind of, the acting up of this knee injury, the old football injury or the old volleyball injury. Because I feel like there's some pain or weakness on the right knee, okay? And I think it really is like a symbol of this work that you're doing. And it could be an indication that maybe you're trying to lift too much yourself, right? I think that with this devil energy here, you hold yourself to such a high standard, okay? And I think it's almost like you would refuse any help if any were offered to you. This is something that if you don't do it yourself, if you don't do it through your own power, strength, energy, through your own merit, it doesn't mean as much. You know what I mean? So I think that's this is the vibe that you have this week. And I want to go to this. I want to go to the death card here, but I'm going to save that for a few minutes down the road here. Because I want to go to this 9 of Wands in the recent past. I think you've overcome a great challenge in your life. Probably further back than recent past, okay? So maybe childhood, maybe young adulthood. I think that there was something that you had to overcome. There was some, either some kind of situation or some kind of, maybe an injury or an illness when you were young. It could be that we're talking about the same knee injury. That could have maybe that put you out of commission for some time, and you had to overcome that. It could be just overcoming the sheer adversarial nature of your environment, right? It could be that you really had to struggle to achieve what you've achieved in life. Not only materially and physically and, on the manifested plane, but energetically, spiritually. Overcoming, I feel like there was maybe a lack of confidence when you were younger, okay? And I think maybe that is related to this idea that you always set the bar very high, right? And I think you would choose such like almost unrealistic aspirations, and you didn't always achieve them. And I think that affected you in your self-esteem and your confidence, in your kind of spiritual vitality. And I think you had to overcome what could be some emotional struggle or perhaps just a struggle with your confidence or with depression or something like that, right? So it's not necessarily physical. I think there is a physical component, whereas there is a feeling of a kind of a drain of energy. There was a loss of energy for a time, right? And again, that may be related to some physical ailments or physical activities, but I think it had more of an emotional / mental component to it. But you've overcome all that, right? We have a 9 of Wands here. This is a tremendous strength. I think you've been through a lot in your life. You've been through the ringer, so to speak. And you're intensely strong and self-possessed with an intense will and ambition now, right? And it's not always like that. You have your moments of doubts too, okay? Here's the 7 of Swords at the top of the path of the dove. You have your doubts. You know, we can't be 100% confident all the time. Sometimes you second guess yourself a little bit. But you're the kind of person that, you know, you like to educate yourself. You like to read, you like to think. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you were, if you studied language or, you know, language arts or literature or communication possibly too. Because I feel like you have that kind of very intellectual kind of part of yourself. I was going to say your kind of energy or vibe, but I feel like that's just one part of who you are. You know, I think you like to read. You like to be informed. You like to have reasonable discussions and or debates with people or with yourself too. And sometimes that might manifest as a little bit of self-doubt. Okay? I think as much as you focus on this central sword and you maintain your will and you are really looking to accomplish your goals, sometimes you have these little, you know, these secondary swords that they just kind of come in, and they are the self-doubt. They are the worries, the questions, the just that creeping pessimism that sometimes comes in, you know. And I think that's all part of this kind of devil energy that you have that I think is really building up to a very important moment this week, okay? And I think it's, you know, it is setting that bar very high and forcing yourself to go after the big, huge goals, okay? Even if you don't achieve them, you shoot for the stars. If you hit the moon, that's okay too, you know? But for you, I don't know that it is. I think that if you kind of miss the mark and only hit the moon too often, these doubts start to pick up a little bit, and you start to question things a little bit more than perhaps normal, okay? But that's just part of who you are, and I think that is, I think that stems from whatever this incident was in your history or childhood, young adulthood, that it contributes to who you are today, all right? So I think it's good to have a nice, healthy dose of this self-critical nature, this, you know, almost skepticism about our own abilities, right? Gives us a little bit of maybe humility, but not enough to really to discourage you, though. That's the important thing. This devil energy is very strong, and not only is it strong, but it's also being crossed by this death energy this week. Now, this is a tremendous card. This is a wonderful card. This portends very, very good news this week, okay? Whatever you're working on, whatever your project is, if it's a career thing, if it's something personal in your private life, something at the home, this death card is sweeping away all of the debris, all of the unnecessary aspects of it, all of the unnecessary details, all of the junk that's lying around is getting swept away. So you have a clean, clear, pristine work area, right? Perhaps literally. Maybe you're literally cleaning out the garage, cleaning out the office or the warehouse or the workspace, okay? It could be you have your studio and you're really going to just strip everything out, get rid of all of it, get the paint off the walls, pull up the floor even, and redo it, okay? Could be that literally this week is about some kind of renovation, okay? It could be a renovation in your home. It could be just kind of refurbing some aspect of your life, your work life, your home life, could be your body, could be you're doing a cleanse, and then you're going to start with this really healthy, nutritious, intentional diet, okay? Something along those lines. I feel like something is being cleared out this week, okay? It could be emotional baggage. It could be intellectual, just kind of nonsense, just like too much stuff that we've been focused on. We got to really clear our heads. You know, I feel like there is a really grand sweeping away of things this week. And it's clearing the way for some really tremendous success. And I think you're going to be just filled to the brim with joy and pleasure and happiness. This is the immediate future, 10 of Cups. You're going to have as much as you could ask for. Okay? It's really going to be the extreme of success and satisfaction. I think it's going to be, you set the bar high, right? You shoot for the stars. I think you hit a distant galaxy. You know what I mean? I think that you really, which, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. You attain something that's far beyond what you set out to attain. It is successful beyond your belief. Okay? It is more than you asked for, more than you hoped for. And that's what I mean about this week having a strange vibe. It's almost like there's a little buzzing in the air. It's almost like I'm from California, so it's almost like you get that really calm, eerie kind of weather, and you think there's going to be an earthquake soon, right? It's earthquake weather. I don't know if you've heard that before. But that's what I mean with all of this harmony. All of these elements are in balance. You've got the perfect amount of humility and skepticism. You've got the perfect amount of, trying to prove something to yourself and to the world, this strength, this kind of inner resolve that was born out of your past experiences. Okay, you've got this devil energy and this death energy, which that sounds terrible, right? I can hear people now screaming and running away from their computers or their tablets or their Android phones. I'm actually considering switching over to Apple, believe it or not. I've been an Android person for years now, but starting to like the Apple stuff, just saying. But you've got this devil and this death energy, which are really saying that it's a major turning point in your life. Something really major is on the verge of happening. You're right on the cusp of this thing. And I almost am wondering why we don't see an Eon card, the adjustment card perhaps. Because there is a direct link between all of this work you're doing and the success that you're getting. It's not things that are just falling into your lap. You're creating this, okay? And that's what the devil and the death card are all about, creation. It sounds terrible. Well, that's to keep the scaredy cats away. This is serious business here, and you're really on the verge of this. The 10 of Cups is the perfect card to have in the immediate future. This is, you're a little bit hungry, or let's say you're starving, and instead of just finding a piece of bread, you found an entire banquet. And you would have been happy with a piece of bread. You found an entire banquet, okay? And I think that the 9 of discs down beneath the surface, this is you always knowing how to take care of yourself, right? It's like you're one of these people who, despite the circumstances, despite anything that's going on in the world or going on around you or whatever happens, you always find a way to take care of yourself, You're always able to put food on the table, maybe not the banquet that we're getting this week, right? But you're always able to get the bills paid, take care of your responsibilities. You're always able to maybe set a little bit aside for the rainy day. You have no problem earning. You have no problem keeping a decent foundation underneath you, okay? Because this is underneath everything. I think you have this tremendous hardworking attitude, which we've already talked about with the devil energy and stuff. But you have this, I don't know if I would call it a work ethic. It's almost like you have this knack for the hustle, and you know how to make ends meet, even if it seems like they're very far apart and we don't know how we're going to make them meet. Somehow you figure it out and you get things together. You take care of your responsibilities. This is like a real wisdom, It's a real born from experience in life, which again, I think that you've overcome a lot. I think you've kind of been through the ringer, so to speak, like I said. And that's given you a lot of smarts, a lot of common sense, a lot of wisdom. You know how to earn, you know how to take care of things. And I think that is probably why you keep setting the bar so damn high. Because you know that even if you don't reach that high, even if you don't make it, everything else is still taken care of. Your basic needs, your foundation, you're still really good at keeping that together. You know, it's not a worry for you. We're going to move over to the path of the serpent now, because now we see some other things going on, some other energies. The first one is this Queen of Cups. This is, I think, your general kind of vibe right now, especially going through this water energy, okay? If we reach this banquet, okay, what's on the other side of that? What do we do with that? If you get everything that you've asked for, if Christmas comes early, what then are you going to do? You know? Well, we start with the Queen of Cups, and this, I think, is a real satisfaction. It's like you're allowing yourself to feel good, you know? I think that you probably don't always allow yourself to enjoy things as much as, you know, you would like to. With this banquet here, this is more than you need. This is a real chance to take a breath, I guess, to relax, to indulge a little bit, to enjoy yourself. This is a real feeling of accomplishment, okay? And it's not just about, you know, going to the banquet and eating as much as you can. This is about just maybe sitting there at the banquet thinking, I made it. I did this. I created this. You could feel pride. You could feel joy. You could feel satisfaction for your accomplishments, okay? And I think what you're doing really does, it's not a selfish thing. I know this is the only court card that we see, and this maybe is the one aspect of things that's not quite in balance. I would have liked to maybe see one more court card. I don't know if this is going to be the mystery card, if that's going to be a court card or not. I don't think so. What I am seeing with this is there's this real drive now in you to connect with people. It's like you want to sit at the banquet and be satisfied and feel good and feel accomplished, but you don't want to sit there alone. You know? You want to make sure you bring your people with you. And this card here primarily is me, or is us trying to make the connections, right? This is trying to bring our people closer, okay? So I think there's a reason why we don't see other court cards here. I think because you're still in the process of finding your people, right? Or bringing your people closer. This is water on water. This is a really, really magnetic card. This is a card that brings people to them, okay? So I think the work that you're doing is something that is, it's going to bring people together. It's something that's going to bring people in. It's not that they're just going to be attracted to the food at the banquet, okay? They are, it's something that you're not doing it for other people, but everyone's going to benefit from this, you know? And even if you're just kind of raising your status, raising your consciousness, raising your achievements, you're bringing other people up with you, friends, family, whoever your loved ones are, co-workers, whatever the case is, right? You're trying to connect with more people and find your people and bring them closer, okay? You're really in this kind of magnetic mood. I think after the work on the path of the dove, right? Through this water energy here, you take on some of this water energy. We kind of start with the water energy. You're trying to bring people closer, okay? And in your environment, your greatest asset, perhaps, is this Two of Wands. This is taking me right back to the Nine of Wands and this devil energy, especially, right? This is some good fire here. This is a strong leadership ability. I think that there is an opportunity for you, again, after we get through this water energy and you're in this magnetic state, you're starting to think about bringing your people closer. People are really going to start looking to you for answers, you know? People are going to see what you've accomplished, see the way you conduct yourself. They're going to see the type of person that you are. And they're coming into your world. Remember, you're like a magnet, okay? You're attracting your people to you. And they're going to look to you. They're in your house now, okay? And they're going to look to you for decisions. They're going to look to you for approval and validation, Okay? So someone in your life specifically, or people in general, are going to look to you. So you are kind of now responsible for being, to maintaining your degree of integrity that you've established, being the leader, right? And I think that's kind of going to be a little bit tricky for you because of this Ace of Swords. Wonderful card. It's kind of your fear, worries, and concerns. This card's almost saying like you have a lot of worries, but they're kind of nonsense. They don't mean anything. They're pointless, right? You're almost worried about the fact that you don't have a lot of worries. You're almost worried that this confidence that you have, this harmony, this really weird balance that we see, you're worried that it's all not true. You're worried that what appears to be the truth is nonsense, is a lie, is not real. Okay? This is almost an idea that we're not going to accept the reality of this situation because it's just too good. Okay? And I think that's what you're worried about. You're worried on the one hand about not being able to live up to this success that you created. Okay? It's someone maybe who has, their 15 minutes of fame and there's nothing left there. They don't have anything in them to keep it going. It's just a kind of one-hit wonder kind of deal. So that's part of your worry too. But I don't even think that is really it. Mostly, I think you're just worried that things are too good. Your thinking is too calm and too clear. You're not really worried about anything. So it's almost like, hey, there's nothing bad going on. There's nothing worrisome going on. Do I need to be concerned about that? There are no immediate challenges or obstacles. Does that mean something's going on? It's like that earthquake weather, right? Things are too still. Something's got to happen, But this is something to overcome. And on the other side of that, we've got this 8 of discs. This is really showing that it's not just leading to some kind of crazy extravagance or exaggeration. This is a real caution and common sense card. Okay? You are growing this tree, this life, this success. Not just a one-hit wonder. You're already going to start working on your next hit. Okay? You're still in the process of creation. Just because you're at the banquet and you're eating as much as you can, all you can eat shrimp or whatever, you're still aware that in a few hours you're going to be hungry again. In a few hours your body's going to have to eat. Your soul is going to have to be nourished again. So you're already working on what's coming next. You're already kind of planning for the continuation of the work. This is a break. This is, something to enjoy. But there's more work to do. There's always more work to do. The moment that you stop and think, okay, I'm done, well, that's, I think, the moment that we fall from this perfect harmony. It's like everything right now is resonating so harmoniously that it's like it's levitating. As soon as something gets out of balance or something stops resonating, the whole thing falls to pieces, So we have to continue to work and continue to push forward and plan and go slow, but continue the process. It's okay to slow down and speed up and, vary your pace, have some dynamics in there. But we don't stop, we don't stop working. So the mystery card. What is this mystery card? I don't know. I'm thinking another court card because everything here right now is just so perfect. It's so perfect. Well, if it could get more perfect, this is it, the Ace of Cups. This is telling me that, yes, there's going to be another banquet on its way. What you're doing with the 8 of Pentacles, this continuation of your work, you're starting the next project, working on your next hit. Well, it's going to lead to the same banquet. You're putting things in motion. You're utilizing this energy. This is also the connections that you're making, your people that you're finding and bringing in. You're creating through all of this work, especially the the path of the serpent through this work over here, you're beginning the process of creating this next great success and satisfaction and achievement. You're starting to boil the water to cook for the next banquet. Okay? Does that make sense? I love my food metaphors. Makes me hungry. So this is, the beginning of that. And I think a lot of work has to come between the ace and another 10 of cups, right? There's a kind of a long way in between. And that's where the 8 of Pentacles is really helping you out, because that's the slow, diligent, hardworking. No matter your success, you still got to work hard. And I think you're used to that. You've got all of these other energies in perfect harmony. I think we got this. I think it's going to be really fun, really exciting. Taurus, I'm so excited for you. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link right there. You can have access to all of the extendeds. Okay. This was your weekly reading, March 12 through 18 on Dove and Serpent Tarot.